Godzilla is the king and Mothra is the queen. In Godzilla Kong: The New Empire, the Moth Goddess Protector of Earth makes her second appearance in the MonsterVerse line of movies. You might have seen us mention the rumor of Mothra's return in the months leading up to The New Empire, but it wasn't until the film's second trailer that we got to see quick teasers for Mothra's return that a lot of people seem to have missed. Leading up to the movie, there was no real sign of the Queen of the Monsters for the general audience to see. Us diehards might have known about it, but normal people probably not. It was a pretty well-kept secret from the fans, except, having the monsters return spoiled on toy boxes that came out 3 months before the movie. But now the movie is here, and it's been about 2 weeks since it came to theaters. So how do we feel about Mothra's return, everyone? Let me know down in the comments. And well, we're gonna get to that, but let's first take a look at what Adam Wingard, the movie's director and the current leader of the MonsterVerse, had to say about the challenge of getting Mothra to the big screen yet again. He said in an interview, "There was briefly another character called Phosphora that we had in place of Mothra, but Mothra was always what the character was written around. And there's this false narrative online that this other character tested badly, and then we were like, let's get Mothra. The plan was always Mothra, but we weren't sure if we were going to be able to get Mothra. And once we tested the movie, we had the previous version of that, and by then, things had cleared up and we were able to do Mothra." Now, Phosphora, from the images that have been circling all around the internet for months now, really was this odd-looking beast, even for the MonsterVerse. Looking like some odd alien from Halo, or like a live-action take on one of those legendary Pokemon. Which is okay, but for such a limited role like what Mothra had in The New Empire, it would have been hard to really give a crap about this Titan and what it did to help our heroes if we didn't know who the heck it was and it just randomly showed up on screen. But change an unknown monster to an iconic kaiju that's been around for nearly as long as Godzilla, and suddenly you get a nice little cameo and salute to the fans of the classic Toho movies. Now, in another interview, Adam went on to give some reasoning behind Mothra returning in the movie. He says, "There's a moment in the film where you've got Godzilla, Kong, and Mothra in front of the Sphinx. And sometimes when I just look at it in post, I'd be like, I can't believe we filled the frame with these 3 characters." There's some shots that are like dream shots for a fan of especially Showa films where you can't believe that in one frame you have all of this going on here. The MonsterVerse really is going in some wild and fun directions. The main villain of this film is a really kind of devilish character. Like, an alternate title for the film could be Kong Goes to Hell. I'm gonna chime in and say that's a great comic book idea, by the way. Adam continues with, "So if Kong's going to hell and he's finding these apes toiling away down there under the devil, who's the Scar King, then Mothra is really this very angelic spirit. And that's the way I approached her as a character, very ethereal. She's a pure vessel within the MonsterVerse, and she's like the great negotiator of the monsters. Everybody respects Mothra. She's like the one monster that all the monsters, I think, will let do her thing. And it's the only monster I think that Godzilla truly respects. He respects her opinion. So Mothra says, listen, we need your help. Godzilla's gonna listen." Adam went on to say, "Anything I say right now wouldn't necessarily be canon, so I don't want to necessarily tell people what she is. I have my own thoughts of what this version of Mothra is, but I think it'll be exciting to kind of let that unfold because I'm sure we'll explore it more in the future." Now, after her death in Godzilla King of the Monsters, no one was certain if Mothra would return to the MonsterVerse. Although if there was ever going to be a returning Toho monster, Mothra made the most sense by far. The synopsis for The New Empire literally said it's a world-ending threat, and Mothra's whole purpose in this universe is to protect the Earth, so it just kinda made sense. And even when you go deeper into Mothra's lore, you would see that upon death, she's always reborn. It happens time and time again, and is her mightiest ability. Even Godzilla can't say that. Mostly. Plus we had the unofficial but also official. The MonsterVerse really needs to get better at solidifying lore. This Easter egg news article that came during the credits for King of the Monsters that stated another Mothra egg had been found by Monarch after the battle with Ganariam Ghidorah. Being reborn in a sense was a big part of the story for the New Empire for all of its characters. Kong became King Kong. Gia became one of the Mothra ladies. Eileen Andrews got a new haircut that looks like it's from the 90s. And Godzilla became pink. Jokes aside, Mothra's return is both meaningful to the fans for their happiness of seeing a returning favorite, and it's also meaningful in terms of having a little spiritual thing going on. But let's not get too into that stuff. This is, after all, a big dumb monster movie. Well, that's what some of these critics who are apparently much smarter than us say, at least. I'll be real with you guys, I know this video is not going to get half the views that one on Godzilla or Shimo would get. Poor Mothra has always had this bias against her on this platform because she's not as clickbait inducing to the fans as you would want. However, I'm at the point where I just don't give a damn. Seeing her return in GXK, regardless of how stupidly simple that film's reasoning was for it, made me happy. It was great watching the movie with some friends and my dad, and when it was all said and done, one of the highlights that we all talked about post-watching the movie was the Queen herself, and how badass it was for her to be in the movie with the other guys, like what Adam was talking about. We didn't need Mothra, but her appearance was just more of a cherry on top, as they say. And it may have opened the door for Toho to be less difficult when it comes to using their classic monsters in these new MonsterVerse movies. So that's how Mothra returned in Godzilla Kong: The New Empire, everyone. If you like this video, you know what to do. Share it around, like it, comment on it, get the algorithm all fired up. And I really do appreciate your time watching this video. As always, everyone, this has been Jacob, and I will see you in the next one.